Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife, and today I have a Bible journal process video for you. I am working through Clothed in Humility, and today I will be journaling in Colossians 3. I am super excited. This is one of those times where you read something in your morning quiet time and then it connects to an additional devotional, and it's like God is pointing his finger and telling you to focus. So the focus of this particular entry is going to be some opportunities that I have to show humility, to show grace, and to kind of grow in that part of my life. So that is what I am going to be journaling about. I will make sure to list everything that I end up using down below in case you want to check it out. Otherwise, let's go. All right, I am just using a cutting mat from the Dollar Tree as my mat, and I've pulled out Tattered Rose Distress Oxide, and I think my Tattered Rose is almost out. I had a little trouble blending here. On this page, there's already some artwork. This is the Illuminated Scripture Journals. There's one for every book of the Bible, and you can buy them individually or as a complete set. And I have the New Testament set, and I really like the size. I don't like that there is already artwork on the pages. That just doesn't really fit my style. So generally when I run into a page that has artwork on it, I do try to cover it up. And that's what I'm planning on doing in this case with a piece of scrap paper. But first I'm adding a little bit of blending that will be peeking out from the scrap paper. And I will start with the Tattered Rose. And I'm just going to layer some different ink, some stencils, some stamps, some stickers, all of the layers right here on this particular piece. So this is one of the stencils that I believe was available from Creative Retreat last month. I love the size of the stencils. They are really easy to store and they just work really well on the Bible page, very simple. So it's a little bit hard to see, but this is some tone-on-tone stamping with these leaves just to add a little bit more interest and to add a little bit of farther reach. My idea was that there would be all of these elements kind of peeking out from behind the scrapbook paper that I was planning on putting there, or the cardstock, and I wanted it to kind of just have this organic kind of reaching out, and so I think the leaves kind of helped with that a lot. Next, I'm reaching for the 3x4 stamp set that came in the kit this month, and I love the little hanger. So I'm going to use the Plum Baroque Creative Retreat ink, and I have just started kind of collecting the Creative Retreat inks, and I'm really enjoying kind of the variety of colors, and I can't wait to kind of pick up more as I go. So I'm stamping the hanger again. The idea is that it will all be peeking out, and now I'm coming in with this kind of thread look. I feel like it looks like a piece of thread, turning it different ways to get different looks, and then the last piece that I will fill in will be this wonky heart, because you guys know me, I love me some wonky hearts. So I'm so glad that there is a stamp with one. I am trying to fill in as much of the space as possible, and there is my cardstock. I am using bright white cardstock, which at first I thought might be a little harsh, but the idea is I want to be able to write on it and to read it pretty easily, and I'm going to be layering some different stickers on it as well. So I went ahead and went with some white that I had in my scrap pile, and now I'm just trimming it out. I just added adhesive to the page, and then I will trim it out to make sure it fits within this journaling Bible, this book. So trimming that out, turning it around, and now I have a place to write and to journal on. Next comes the layering with stickers. So like I said, I was reading in a morning devotional all about God just providing you opportunities for growth. And then I sat down to study this devotional, and it also brought up the word opportunities. And I loved the idea of looking at some of the trials, some of the struggles that we have, looking at them as opportunities to grow in different ways. And definitely a way I wanted to work on or focus on was kindness, just treating others with kindness. I think that is something that I definitely have room to grow on. Most of the time, I'm a person that is easily frustrated. So I have really really high standards for myself and I have high standards for others, and sometimes I get easily frustrated. And so I was brainstorming just some opportunities that I can show kindness and grace and be much more Christ-like than I would usually act in my life. So compassionate humility, that is definitely something to focus on right here. I'm putting on my 2 arrows. In my second arrow, I'm going to use to just point to the word. You see, I put it down and then I pick it up. I'm going to point to the word kindness because that is the focus. Now I'm pulling out the little hexy alphas, which I love, and I will use them to spell out the word opportunity. So an opportunity to submit, an opportunity to serve others. And that's what this particular journaling passage is all about. So I was focusing on Colossians 3, specifically 12 through 14, where it says, "Put on then, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another, and if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other. As the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. And above all these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony." So what I wanted to do was put together a list of kind of some daily challenges that have been, for lack of a better word, challenging, that have brought out maybe not my most Christ-like side, and wanted to kind of think about and pray about how I can look at those as opportunities to show humility and kindness and gentleness and patience, just all of the things listed in Colossians right there. So that's what I'm going to do in that journaling space. I'm just adding a little bit more detail work with some handwritten stitching around the edges. That's one of my favorite details to add these days. I just really like the look of it. I like adding borders around pages. I am just kind of in the kind of dashed line zone, you might say. I really like just the extra detail that it adds on the page. Now, at first, I was just going to journal in that blank spot, but I looked over and saw the stencil from this month, which is this really cute hanger that definitely mirrors the hangers that I have going on the page. And so I decided to use the same Plum Baroque ink. I'm spraying the stencil with pixie spray so that it will stay in place. And then I will put it down on my page so it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to use a blending tool in the same Plum Baroque ink that I stamped with earlier to blend through the stencil. And I feel like it gives me the perfect place to have my list, the list of daily opportunities I have to show some of these fruits of the Spirit, if you will, this humility, this kindness that I think God is really, really calling me to focus on, because it's definitely coming up a lot in my studies. So after I write out my personal list, then this page will be done. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you are enjoying this study of humility, of how to be more Christ-like and how we are called to be more Christ-like. It has been impactful and I have really enjoyed it so far. I have linked all of the supplies I used down below, so make sure to check those out if you're interested. Otherwise, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.